Good afternoon here in the Media Center. We are joined by ARCA Menard Series driver and two-time K&N Pro Series West winner, Hailie Deegan. Hailie, you're making your debut here at Pocono Raceway this weekend, your second career ARCA Menard Series start. What do you think of this racetrack so far?
I'm honestly so excited. Coming here, it was a little nerve-wracking, kind of pulling into the track. It's definitely a lot bigger than any of the tracks I've ever been on. I think the biggest track I've ever been to is Gateway. So coming here is a little nervous. Got on the track. First lap was a little sketchy, gotta admit, but we ended up figuring out really quick. Wednesday's practice session, we were a little slower than I wanted to be, but we definitely came out of the gate really strong today, and so I was happy about it.
So you do come from a relatively well-known family. Your father is known for his exploits in the X Games, freestyle motocross. How did you end up, from what your father has done, how did you end up pursuing a career in stock car racing instead of going and doing the X Games or something like that?
Yeah, I was really racing off-road trucks full-time, competing in Lucas Oil Series, and then Toyota is actually the one that sought me out, put me through their development program, kind of did some tests, tried me out in different series, and so I ended up working out, and now I'm still with them today. It's been a great relationship, and we've had a lot of success together.
So it had been, I believe, 31 years since a woman had won in a NASCAR touring series. You've now won twice. Do you carry that history around with you? Is that something you think about, or is that just another day at the office for you?
Honestly, it has its pros and cons. Yes, it's really cool to win early in my career, but then as soon as you win, people expect you to win everything. Then they expect you like, oh, she's going to move up, oh, she's going to win that series. So it's hard to kind of handle the pressure of having to live up to those expectations, but I think it's just taking it one step at a time, learning at each track we're at. Like the beginning of this race, on Wednesday, I was like, oh man, it's going to be a tough weekend, a lot to learn, and we got better and better, and then we came out of the gate in practice qualifying, and we were really fast. So I was super excited about that, and I think it's just all falling together really well.
Do we have any questions here in the Media Center for Hailie Deegan? I have some up front here.
Sackatane's ready, kickingthetires.net. Your YouTube channel, Deegan38, a lot of content gets pushed out on there. It seems like a lot of work is being done behind the scenes. What's your involvement with that channel? Does your dad have an involvement? And how cool is it to see that type of content being pushed out of your racing?
Yeah, that's all us. That's all. We have a filmer who kind of just travels with us, kind of like a friend filmer. And so he just hangs out at all the races, films all the content, which is cool. He gets to come to a lot of stock races, but a lot of them are a little far. So he's not here this weekend, so my dad's filming. So it is like super family involved, super comfortable. And I think that's why I try to keep it around lifestyle, try to keep it real, like not anything fake. I hate when people are super by the book and just so every interview is the same thing, same plug, and it's over and over again. And I think that we keep that really good in our family of just being real and straight, shoot it straight content. Yeah, believe it, he's right there. I think it's pretty good.
He's doing it right now.
Yeah.
We'll stick up here up front.
Zach Sterniolo, Pocono Record. Hailie, you touched on it, like this is the biggest track you've been on yet. Where do you set your expectations coming into a place like this where it's totally different from anything you've done previously?
Yeah, the base, I just want to get laps. I didn't get to get laps at the last race at Toledo, and I was super bummed about that. But I think just right now, I want to be able to go out there, and at the end of the day, if I make every single lap of the race, I'm going to be a better driver by the end of the weekend. And that's my goal, is to come out of here being a better driver and just keep learning. And I think that the biggest thing is getting laps and being competitive on top of that. Now that I saw where we line up in the practice qualifying, I'm like, okay, we're a strong car, strong competitor. We have speed, which is the main thing I needed from Wednesday. And so we got that figured out, and I think we're going to have a strong run. I just really want to make all the laps and just get that experience.
I think we'll send it over to Jeff Gluck, formerly of jeffgluck.com.
Jeff.
Hi, Hailie. What kind of prep work is required for when you're coming to a track like this? Like, are you sim racing? Are you watching like a lot of video? How do you get ready if you've never been to this place?
Yeah, I was on the simulator at TRD a lot, trying to get ready for here just because I've never been at a track this big, and I've never done anything draft or anything like that. So that's all new to me, and I'm going to figure it out during the race, honestly. And so they've helped a lot with that, just getting me comfortable at these bigger tracks. But I've been going over tons of footage, asking other friends that race trucks in Xfinity, just trying to get as much information as I can. And even from Wednesday to now, I spent all of yesterday just going over data, going over brake sensors, throttle sensors, everything, just tracking the maps and stuff of when my teammates are hitting the gas to where I'm hitting the gas, if I'm letting out of it, and where they're gaining on me, tons of dartfish. Anything that I could possibly get my hands on, I've been studying. And I think it's showed from Wednesday to today.
Any other questions here in the media center? We have one up front.
Dan Gelson, Associated Press. Hailie, what is your hopeful career path? I mean, where do you want to go? You know, where do you want to go next? How many years you think? And
Yeah, I think as of now, I just want to keep winning at the level that I'm at. Everyone's like, "Oh, are you going Trucks Xfinity next year?" I'm like, "That's a big jump," and so that's something I'm not trying to get too ahead of myself at. I definitely want to win in the ARCA series before I move up. And I know next year it's going to be combining with ARCA and K&N. So my hopeful idea would be to do the ARCA K&N series again and maybe a few truck races. I don't know. It just all depends on what happens this year and what we accomplish this year.
I think Claire had a question as well.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. How much do you feel like it's just all been a whirlwind for you, and how much are you able to slow it down? Not so much the progression, but just your ability to learn all this and absorb all of it while the whirlwind is going on.
Yeah, it's been crazy. I think just taking it all in, as much information as I can get. Everyone will be like, "Oh, they're overloading with information," but I need it right now. Like, I need to absorb all the information and get as much as I can, as quick as I can, just because the process, it's going to keep moving quick, and it's hard to keep up with it, and you kind of get ahead of yourself at times when you go out there and you're like, "Oh, we're not as fast as we're supposed to be. Oh, we're like a second off," but everyone's like, "Oh, a second's only like a couple tenths on a short track," so I'm like, okay, but still, it gets to you at times, so I think it's just doing our work where we can and getting better as quick as possible, but not getting too ahead of ourselves or too unmotivated or bummed when stuff like that happens.
Any other questions here in the media center for Hailie Deegan? I have one more for you, Hailie. So you obviously have a successful background in the K&M Pro Series. You've making your second career start here in the ARCA Menard Series. How different is the competition level between those two divisions right now?
I'll be honest. K&N West Series, this series is a lot more competitive in my eyes, just because I feel like the West Series has a good 2 or 3 good guys. This series, you come here and there's 5, 6, 7 good guys that could win, like all in contention to win 100%. And I'll have one in the past. And I think just my teammates are the hardest people that are going to be to beat, just because they're all super fast. They all win. They're all getting poles, getting wins every single weekend, and it's going to be the strongest competition. I feel like we have the best group of drivers together. So it's just that whole team layout of trying to be as good as your teammates when you've only had like one race.
How much have you been able to rely on teammates like Harrison Burton and Christian Eckes to help get you up to speed in this process?
Honestly, a ton. Just from the Wednesday to Friday today, it's all their information that made me a better driver, which it's, in the end of the day, it's good having teammates, but also they're like your teammates are your biggest like competition, but also your biggest help.
Starting 4th today, what do you think? What's the plan of attack for this afternoon?
I honestly kind of surprised myself during that practice qualifying. I went out and they're like, "Oh, 53 like 5," and I was like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "We were like 54 on Wednesday," and they're, "Oh yeah, that was good." And so they sent me out again and went 53.5 again, and so it was good. Our setup just felt amazing from Wednesday to Friday. We just got the car super neutral. We were fighting tightness a lot, which I think was partially me being on the gas and still have the locker locked up in practice the other day. But just fixing my little mistakes plus getting the car better, we met in the middle and found speed.
All right. Best of luck to you here in the General Tire 200 later on this afternoon. Maybe we'll see you back in here after the race.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I can't imagine that you wouldn't be able to talk to Tommy. Do you have time to talk to Claire?